If you're looking for some must-visit restaurant spots when you are in downtown Charleston, South Carolina, then look no further than today's video. I want to share with you 10 of my favorite spots to dine downtown. Now, I know that oftentimes when you see lists of places downtown, all of them are fancy, high-end, pricier options, which I do have a few on my list as well. However, I really wanted to include a variety of options, everything from delis and breweries to healthier options, barbecue, and those high-end special occasion places as well, so that you have a big range of places to choose from when you are either visiting the area or if you live in the area and are just looking for some new options. Then I would love to hear your thoughts as well in the comments below if you agree with my choices or what else you have to offer as your favorites. By the way, make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I am sharing my very favorite restaurant last. If you are a fellow foodie like me and you want to see some other restaurant recommendations, check out this video with my favorite restaurants in Mount Pleasant, just outside of downtown Charleston. By the way, my name's Sarah Newman. I'm a local realtor here and team leader at the Elevate team with eXp Realty. And my team and I love helping people just like you buy and sell real estate here in the greater Charleston area. So if we can be of service to you, we would love the opportunity to talk further and see if we're a good fit to work together. Our contact information is pinned below. You can set up a Zoom call with us and we can meet for a consultation and see how we could best support you. Now, I will say that it's an impossible task to try to take the hundreds of amazing restaurants in Charleston and narrow them down to just 10. So this is not an exhaustive list. I could do a top 30 plus restaurants here in Charleston. And there's also quite a few restaurants that are on my list to try that I just haven't made it to yet. I feel like every time I go out and try somewhere new, there's 2 or 3 new restaurants that open or places I just hadn't been aware of yet that I add to my list. So there are plenty of other amazing options out there. Don't get mad that your favorite isn't on this list. I just wanted to share some of my top 10, but this is not the only 10 great restaurants in Charleston. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the first restaurant on the list, which is Hall's Chop House. I have been to Hall's Chop House probably about 7 different times over the years. A couple times I just sat at the bar, had a drink and a couple appetizers. A couple times I went for their Sunday gospel brunch, which is pretty cool. They have piano player and gospel singers. And I've been there for dinner a couple of times for the full experience to celebrate special occasions. Hall's is a steakhouse that has been around a long time. They have an absolutely amazing reputation here in Charleston. Part of that is because they give an absolutely extraordinary 5-star service experience. So let alone the amazing food, which I'm going to come back to in just a moment, the service is out of this world. I worked in restaurants for many, many years. I very much appreciate great service and notice when people go above and beyond. And I don't think I've ever had better service than when I'm at Hall's. We were just there a couple weeks ago for my boyfriend's birthday, and the moment we walk in, the owner, Billy Hall, is there shaking our hand, welcoming us. I swear he's there 24/7. He's like omnipresent somehow. No matter when I'm there, he's always there, greeting everybody, touching all the tables, like he is in his zone. They knew right away from the reservation that we were celebrating a birthday. They congratulated us. As we walked back to the table, countless staff said, "Hello, welcome, welcome, thank you for joining us," and just greeted us every step along the way to the table. When we sat down, they brought us complimentary champagne, and multiple people, I think some of the managers, came over during our dining experience to say happy birthday again, see how things were going. The servers really know their stuff. And then when they bring the food out to you, they bring it all at once. It's a whole team of food runners that set the dishes down. They even serve you the sides if you'd like. It's truly just an incredible 5-star experience. Now, getting to the food, they do exclusively serve USDA prime steaks. They have a variety of options from dry aged, which is my favorite, to wet aged, to grass fed, to Wagyu, of course, all different types of cuts and styles. They have some amazing sauces you can add on. We really love the red wine reduction and the truffle butter. And everything is a la carte. So they do these family style sides that come out in these cast iron skillets. I highly recommend the corn skillet. It's definitely a crowd favorite. Also, I'm gluten-free, so they have a ton of gluten-free options. Almost everything on the menu can be modified to be gluten-free. Even some of their fried foods like the calamari, the fried okra, and fried green tomatoes. Their house martini is also one of my favorite cocktails in town. It's called the 434. And it's orange vodka infused with pineapple. It's super chilled. They shake it really well and serve it in a frosty glass. Now, I'm not one for sweet cocktails, so this just have a bit of sweetness, of course, from the fruit, but it's definitely not overly sweet. There's something about it that I just love. So if you are looking to celebrate a special occasion, definitely make a reservation at Hall's. The same company also owns two of my other favorite restaurants, High Cotton and Snob. You cannot go wrong at any three of these restaurants for celebrating special occasions. They're all focused on low country cuisine with seafood and steak, and are all consistently excellent. So I did just go ahead and sneak in 3 restaurants into one, but I can't help it because they're all just spectacular. Hall's has a second location in Nexton Square in Somerville. I've never personally dined at that one, but I hear they have the exact same service and menu as downtown. So if you live in Somerville, then it's amazing because you don't have to travel all the way downtown to get the joy of dining at Hall's. Number 2 on the list, and by the way, these are in no particular order, is the Grocery. I just dined at the Grocery for the first time a couple of months ago. It had been on my list for a while and I absolutely loved it. It's farm to table, so their menu changes frequently, and they have a lot of veggie forward dishes as well as other dishes like pasta and seafood and meat. I really love a good vegetable dish. My boyfriend doesn't as much, but he actually loved this meal just as much as me. And so I think that speaks volumes to their preparation and how it truly is something anyone can enjoy, even if you're maybe more of a meat and potatoes kind of person typically. We ordered just a bunch of things. They're not really tapas style, but some of the plates are smaller. So we just shared a bunch of items, including the oyster mushrooms with an herb oil, green tomato carpaccio, fried oysters with a devil egg sauce and pickles, steak tartare with a ranch flavor topped with potato skins, and a potato crusted tile fish. Now, these photos don't do it justice because it's really dark in there and really hard to get photos, but trust me, it is just so fresh and you will not regret it. In fact, I loved it so much that very night I ordered a gift card while I was there for an anniversary gift for my sister because I just enjoyed it that much and really wanted her to try it. Third on the list is Lewis's Barbecue. I felt like I had to put a barbecue restaurant on the list because barbecue is pretty big in the South. Ironically, Lewis's is more of a Texas style barbecue, not a Carolina style barbecue. But Lewis's has been hailed as one of the best barbecue joints in the country by places like Southern Living, Garden and Gun, and Condé Nast Traveler. They're most famous for their legendary beef brisket, which is my personal favorite, but they also have smoked pork spare ribs, beef ribs, Texas hot gut sausage, and oxtail. There is often a line here and they don't take reservations, but it's worth the wait. There are a few other barbecue places downtown as well that are well-renowned and esteemed. One is Rodney Scott's for pulled pork and Home Team Barbecue for their smoked wings and fried ribs. Number 4 on the list is Edmonds Oost. I really wanted to include a brewery on this list because they are very popular here in Charleston. We have great weather, you can sit outside, sometimes they have music. It's just a great place to gather with your friends that's pretty casual, and yet some of them actually have some pretty good food as well. So if you're looking for a great local brewery, then I would definitely guide you to Edmonds Oost. There are 2 locations. The one that I am talking about is on Morrison. They call it a fine casual restaurant. It's a brew pub and cocktail bar as well. The second location is actually just a few minutes away from the first location. It's actually their production brewery with a tap room and casual restaurant. It's a completely different menu. So of course they have really good craft beer. They also are known for having great fried chicken. They have it in a variety of styles. They have a different menu when you sit outside in the picnic area versus when you're inside, but they do have some overlap. When you're outside, it focuses more on things like sandwiches and burgers and salads, but they do have some fun other creative options like Korean meatballs, curried vegetables, and pickled shrimp. Inside, they have steak. They have, again, some more creative options like barbecue escargot, chopped liver, and cheese plates. It's a pretty eclectic menu. Now, being gluten-free, they used to have the most amazing gluten-free burger bun I'd ever had. Even my gluten-loving family preferred the gluten-free bun over the regular. However, their gluten-free chef left, so I think they've traded that bun out for a more traditional bun. They also used to do a ton of gluten-free desserts, and I think they don't do that so much anymore. So for me, it's a bit of a bummer, but of course, it's still a great restaurant with some awesome options. Number 5 is Miller's All Day. I wanted to include a breakfast spot because a lot of people love to go out to breakfast, and Miller's All Day, just like their name suggests, is a breakfast place that's open all day. It's very casual. They also have a bakery and a food truck, as well as another location on James Island in Riverland Terrace. Of course, they have traditional breakfast plates like your eggs with bacon and sausage, pancakes and waffles, but they also have southern options like biscuits and gravy, shrimp and grits, okra and tomato stew, and hot honey chicken sandwiches. I also hear the cinnamon rolls and the banana bread are top notch. They also don't take reservations. They do get busy, but they can put you on a list and then text you when you're ready. So if you want to go put your name down and then walk around Charleston until your table's ready, that could be a good option as well. Number 6 is Basic Kitchen. If you want lighter, healthier options, or maybe you're vegan or vegetarian, then you have got to go to Basic Kitchen. I've gone here for girls' lunches a couple of times, and it just really hits the spot. They've got amazing bowls loaded with healthy grains, all kinds of veggies like citrusy kale and marinated cabbage, great sauces like chimichurri, garlic mint yogurt, and tons of proteins like chicken kofta meatballs, tofu, curry chickpea, salmon, and more. They also have beef and veggie burgers, fish tacos, and shawarma. In addition to their full bar with beer and wine and cocktails, they have a range of fresh squeezed juices, wellness shots, lattes, and quite a few delicious mocktails, if alcohol isn't your thing. They're open for lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch. Number 7 on the list is Magnolia's. Magnolia's has been a staple in Charleston for over 30 years, right in the heart of the French Quarter on East Bay Street. The building dates back to the 1700s and is actually the site of the original customs house, so it's a very historic setting. They have a true low country fine dining fare featuring classics like fried green tomatoes, house-made pimento cheese, pan-fried chicken livers, shellfish over grits, along with more modern interpretations of traditional local cuisine, including a low country bouillabaisse, blackened catfish, and the Parmesan crusted catch of the day. Now, I have admittedly only been here once for brunch many years back, but I was with my whole family and I just remember that everybody loved it. They have a good amount of their classic dishes also on the brunch menu, as well as southern spins on classic brunch food like pecan crusted chicken and waffles, crab benedict, and huevos rancheros. Number 8 on the list is Maya. What would this list be without a solid Mexican restaurant? We have a ton of Mexican restaurants in Charleston, and I am admittedly a sucker for some great Mexican food, especially chips and dip. Maya calls itself Elevated Mexican. They have incredible house-made cocktails, of course, margaritas. They do some great seasonal flavors. I've had the strawberry on the rocks in the summer, and it was so good. I personally love the guacamole, the queso, the spicy Brussels sprouts, and the tuna tostada. Of course, they have Mexican favorites like tacos and fajitas. The majority of the menu is also gluten-free, which is a major plus for me and maybe for you too. Number 9 is Legend Deli. I wanted to put a super casual, fast lunch option on here. So if you're walking around King Street near the College of Charleston and you're hungry and you just want something super quick, you know, sometimes you don't want anything fancy, you just want a sandwich and you want to be done in 20 minutes. If you're looking for an incredible sandwich, then look no further than Legend Deli. They have your classic sandwiches plus modern twists on old favorites. Everything is super fresh and the sandwiches are truly loaded, like super tall, thick amounts of meat and toppings. I had a sandwich called the Goat, which is black pepper turkey, whipped goat cheese, onion jam, arugula, roasted red pepper mayo, on traditionally sourdough, but of course I swapped it for the gluten-free. And it was everything that I hoped it would be. They also have bagels, breakfast burritos, wraps, hot Sammies, and salads. I popped in here a few weeks ago with a couple other people and we all loved what we had. Okay, I told you I was going to save my absolute favorite for last. So drum roll please. Are you ready for number 10? My latest favorite restaurant in all of Charleston is called Chubby Fish. I had heard about Chubby Fish for a few years before I finally made it there, and oh my God, it was one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. Everything is so fresh and creative and vibrant. It's like you can feel the love in the food and the inspiration as you're eating the dishes. Of course, it's heavy seafood focused. They have a couple of other non-seafood options if you have a non-seafood eater in your group, but their primary focus is seafood. We tried a lot of dishes and everything was impeccable. We had grilled oysters, ceviche, the smoked fish curry, the celery salad, which I was a little bit skeptical about at first, but trust me, it is just something so unique and I really loved it. I hear that the fried oyster roll is out of this world and a must order, assuming that you can eat gluten. We sat at this bar that overlooks the kitchen. It's an open concept kitchen, so you can see the chefs back there working, and it was really fun to get to watch them in their zone prepping all the courses. Chubby Fish partners with local fishermen and farms, so their menu is changing regularly. They have gotten some great press over the years. They got a Best New Restaurant nod from Bon Appetit. They were ranked the #7 restaurant in the United States from Food and Wine magazine and have been a James Beard finalist for the Best Chef Southeast 2024. It's slightly off the beaten path by just a couple of blocks, so you probably would be unlikely to stumble on it as you're walking some of the main streets, so you do need to be intentional. They do not take reservations, however, so a line typically forms out the door. They open at 5, so oftentimes by 4:15, 4:30, there is a line. We went at 4:30 so that we could get in as soon as they open, and it was a great idea. I'd highly recommend just going early and waiting so that you're not waiting later. I believe they're closed Mondays and Tuesdays or Sundays and Mondays. Check the hours just to make sure that you don't go when they're closed, but it is definitely a meal worth waiting for. Well, that wraps up 10 of my favorite recommendations here in Charleston across all different types of categories. Charleston is such a foodie town. It's hosting the Food and Wine Classic this September for the first time. It's one of the reasons I love living here because you just get to explore such a variety of incredible talent and innovation, as well as classics here in our city. So whether you live here or you're just traveling here, I hope you found this helpful. Again, leave a comment below about some of your must-try restaurants. I'd love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, I'd super appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you can be the first one to know about all things Charleston. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.